Let's talk about the importance of goal setting.
Yeah.
I have a really great business friend. He is the proverbial list maker. And lists are great and they're helpful. It helps you to think, just like you have your black book, right? Which we probably ought to talk about. This particular person gets so hung up on list making that they forget about list completing or starting. Tell me about your little black book. Tell me about your lists.
So been there, done that.
Yep.
Goal setting, another great book, Goals by Brian Tracy. It's so helpful for me. He has this great appendix at the end of the book that is like 30 pages of questions to go through to help you, after you've read the book, digest and now put it into action, right? Because it's easy to make the list.
Sure.
It's hard to put it into execution. Quick story from that book. These are the things that land for me. And again, everybody has their own way, but he talks about a study they did at Harvard. And I might be off by the percentages, but I'll be close. 84% of the students at the end of the graduating year had not given much thought to goals and had not written them down. 13% of the students had some idea of their goals, but they hadn't put them into like a plan or written them out officially. 3% had concrete goals and steps to take. 10 years later, they revisited the graduating class. The 84% that did not have any goals or hadn't thought about it were making average salary in their respective industry.
Okay.
The 13% that thought about it but didn't put it into action were making double the salary in their industry. The 3% who had goals written down when they graduated were making 10 times the average salary in that industry. Goals are so critical and essential, and there's a right way and a wrong way to write goals, and that book is, for me, it was a tremendous guide. And I print that crazy document out, and I start in like September of every year, going through answering these questions, and it helps, it brings you through a process of here's really where you want to be. And you refine it and you use it to whatever serves you best. I found there have been years, and I shared this with the team maybe 6 months ago. We were talking about goals from the past, and I had talked about, it was like August, and I had hit all my goals, but I wasn't revisiting them at the tempo I knew I should. And at the end of the year, I didn't do much above the goals I had set. And some of the mindset was, you hit your goals. Like that's a win. And for me, it was like, no, that's not a win because it's not the right process for me. I want to get a little bit better every day. When I revisit my goals regularly and I see them behind or I see them ahead, I recast them, right? So there's a whole world on goal setting, but it has, for me, been a critical piece. And I think there's enough studies and enough data out there that speak to those who have goals. It's part of manifesting.
Right.
It's part of declaring. By you writing those goals out, you're declaring them.
When you do your declarations every day, do you review your goals every day as well?
No. So my declarations are a daily thing. My daily sheet is a daily thing. My goals I revisit quarterly.
And then what do you do if you find that you're not where you want to be with your quarterly goals?
Ask why.
Go back to your why.
Go back to your why. And go back to what the factors are and what the things. There's going to be, again, in real estate, it's never as scripted, and things are going to happen.
Yeah.
And I stay away from the negativity almost altogether, but it's disappointing if you're off on a goal. But it's not disappointing if you're off on a goal, but you've been aware of it and you're working through the issues that arose to keep you from that goal, right? Because it takes some time. So as long as you're working at it, honestly working at it, and you're being really candid with yourself, am I really leaning into this? That's going to happen. That's part of failing, right?
Yeah.
Which is not a failure. It's all part of it, man. From an agent perspective, no ceiling, all the things we had talked about. I'll have agents come in and say, I want to, work in this particular sector. I want to work in that particular sector, or an investor. I want to do this. I want to do that. There's a big difference between having those broad brush discussions and doing the work, which is what that guide helps you to do. Okay, in my first year as an agent, I want to make $100,000 a year. Great. What does that mean? Well, let's take the average price home in your market if you're going to be in home sales. Mm-hmm. Let's take the average co-broke that you're actually netting out and what your split is with a broker. What does that number turn out to be? Okay, now we have that number. How many deals do we need to do to get to that 100,000?
Yeah.
Okay, now we know it's X amount of deals. What's the average close rate in your market from leads? What are the different lead sources that you're going to? Are you making the calls? Are you sending the postcards? Are you doing the letters? Are you making your posts? What are the supporting pieces that you need to do to get those leads, to close at the average, to hit that goal? Big difference between that and I want to make $100,000 a year.
You bet.
Right?
Well,
execution.
This is the question I was going to ask. You've heard the term eat the frog.
Sure. Great book.
Here's that list of stuff to do. And there's that one thing you're just going, oh man, I'm never going to do this. Mm-hmm. Right? How do you set up, or should one set up a goal execution list and put the frog at the top of it?
I think with goals, it's a little different. They use BHAG, big, hairy, audacious goals, right? Yeah. I think it's important to have the most challenging stuff there, those kind of North Stars. And no, it's a North Star. Be realistic, but you have to have attainable ones that are just attainable, but you got to work toward. And I think you need some layups. I think you need a little bit of
you bet
of all of it. And it depends on the temperament and the person, right? What that looks like. It's different for everybody, but the process should be the same. It should be a disciplined, intentional approach to your goal. Like just saying a number or writing a number is not enough.
Yeah.
You have to go through the steps. You're putting it out there and you're driving toward that success.
Well, and people need to realize that they're going to have the days of execution. You go, I'm crushing the list today, man. This is great. I'm going to do it. And then there's other days where you go, I just got my butt kicked yesterday.
And give yourself some grace.
Celebrate the good times or the good achievements.
And give yourself grace when nobody is always on. Nobody.
Yeah.
I prided myself on my motor. Like I will never burn out. And if I didn't shift, I would have. I grinded for 25 years. I mean, legit. Not I said I did. I did.
Yeah.
It was a long run. And because I identify with the Jockos and the Goggins of the world, you see that video and Goggins is screaming at you, like, get off the couch and go. For me, it works. But I've learned there's a time when you're missing those marks. If you start to lament and think about what you did wrong or what you came up short on or the goal that you missed or you didn't get your daily sheets done today, again, you're subconsciously manifesting it and it starts to become reality. So you have to learn to give yourself grace. Like if you missed the mark that day, okay, tomorrow I'm going to not miss that mark.
Yeah.
That's it. And it sounds simple and it's not, and it's a ever evolving process. I miss days more times than I care to admit today, but I'm better than I was, right?
Yeah.
It's not this, the last thing I want to convey is this perfect world where the sheets are done every day and every goal gets hit. That's not it. But when I miss, it's all right, man. You did good.
Just cut yourself some slack every now and then.
You deserve this day. Pick it up tomorrow. You'll hit it tomorrow. Not, I suck. This is why I'm not. This is why I can't. No, it's like, all right, you got it tomorrow.
Yeah,
and
that's
just
great.
Go get it tomorrow.
There's another thing too, and I'm probably guilty of this too, and all the things that I used to do is say, at 10 a.m. I'm going to do this. At 10:30 I'm going to do this. At 11 o'clock I'm going to do this. And you just go, there's no way in hell, right? You got a call, that's fine.
Yep.
And then that's going to take you off on some tangent or whatever it might be. But you have your execution and you have your times and you have your worksheets and that kind of stuff. How important is it to allocate time to these points of execution?
Yeah. So it's another thing we have in the resource center is how we've done time blocking.
Mm-hmm.
So it's difficult to get to a place of comfort with time blocking, especially if you're an agent or an investor and you're priding yourself on being available, right? What happens is the day's business gets in the way of the bigger picture.
Mm-hmm.
So we have time blocks where sometimes it's 1 a day, sometimes it's 2 a day, sometimes it's 3 a day. For me, my peak is like 75 minutes. My ADD, I get past 75 minutes in any time block and I can't help but think of other things.
Sure.
But you are infinitely more productive, again, study after study after study, in a time block where phone goes on, do not disturb, an automatic message goes out, an automatic email goes out, however you want to set it up, where people know you're focusing on an important project, whatever it may be. For us, many times now, it's the macro stuff that we're working on in the company, because it's hard to fix a bike while you're pedaling.
Does
that make
great.
sense?
Great.
Right? Like
Great
you got to get
saying.
off the bike and work on the bike.
Yeah.
And time blocks really help us do that. You can do it for all different segments of the business. I'm going to time block if I'm a new agent to make calls, or I'm going to time block to write my next blogs, or whatever it may be. You create times when you focus and you become far more productive in those blocks. Time blocking has really helped me also. Another thing I've learned through coaching.